So David Griffin's right-hand man didn't take too kindly to the words I had to say yesterday. I didn't think I overstepped my boundaries, but apparently he did. So we're going to break down his gripes right now in the Pelicans Scoop. Get your popcorn and cue my music.
This is the Pelicans Scoop with Jordan Kitchens, breaking down everything under the sun about your New Orleans Pelicans. Smash that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to stay on top of your Pels content. Now, running point, here's Jordan.
What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another edition of the Pelicans Scoop. I am your host with the most. I'm feeling it today, ladies and gentlemen. So today's matter of business. I dropped a David Griffin video yesterday. I've been dropping a lot of David Griffin videos because the trade deadline has just passed, and you know, it's a lot of things that we thought were going to happen that obviously did not transpire. So had a couple things to say yesterday, and I got a response from David Griffin's right-hand man, his best friend. I'm just like, whoa, what is David Griffin best friend doing tapping into these videos? Like, whoa, matter of fact, David Griffin best friend infiltrated the community and was a part of what we had going on, ladies and gentlemen. But that is not the point. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, so you can never get mad about that. Can never get mad about how people feel, and you know how they, you know, that's what it comes to. You're making content creation, you're putting yourself out there for the whole world. So we are going to break down right now what Griffey's best friend had to say. So to start this bad boy off, Griff's best friend, he had this to say. Starts it off with this. First of all, Griff did go out and get Murray. He wasn't complacent in that. Congratulations, David Griffin. This is year 6 right now. So year 6, you finally stop being complacent and you make a move. After you started off saying, we're not going to be complacent this offseason. You know, we're gonna get the big man position. Yeah, you got Murray. Thank you. Did that. Not moving Brandon Ingram prematurely. You know, you didn't do that. Still haven't brought in a quality big to go next to Zion. I want to say Eve Messi, but in the beginning of the season, Daniel Tice was the guy you brought. Okay. Anyways, we're gonna keep going. So long excerpt. He can't help that he got hurt. Correct. You're mad over, well, Ivor, but he's over losing Green. Brother, play the clip. Cavaliers. Now you're like, dude, it's Javonte Green. What are you tripping about? Like, this is, who cares? Like, yes. In the grand scheme, yes. Yes. It is a marginal move. This video is not about, oh man, we lost Javonte, fire everybody. No, this video is not about Javonte necessarily, but what this symbolizes, as y'all can see multiple times throughout the video, stated. Matter of fact, play the clip one more time. Cavaliers. Now you're like, dude, it's Javonte Green. What are you tripping about? Like, this is, who cares? Like, yes. In the grand scheme, yes. Yes. It is a marginal move. This video is not about, oh man, we lost Javonte, fire everybody. No, this video is not about Javonte necessarily, but what this symbolizes, literally said, this has nothing to do with Javonte Green. Multiple times throughout the video, nothing to do with Javonte Green. My gripe was about, you waited so long, continuously, you wait so long, and then wait for players to lose their value, and you get nothing in return for them. That was my gripe. Nothing to do with Javonte Green. Shout out Javonte Green. You hit the lottery. You got paid twice. You got paid to leave New Orleans and go to the Cavs. So that was just a lie. All right, you didn't have to lie, bro. Like, people watched the video. They heard me state multiple times throughout the video that this has nothing to do with Javonte Green. He is just a piece. He's like a rock in the railroad of a microcosm. He's a microcosm of all the BS. And it just so happens he was the thumbnail of the video. They are tanking, bro. They are getting ready for that. Why would anyone give you a draft pick for him post deadline, mind you? You're being obtuse for what reason? What? So I don't understand the trade deadline. After just watching the Lakers have a trade rescinded and they can't do nothing about it, we don't know how the trade deadline works. I wasn't speaking about before the trade deadline. I was saying the Pelicans should trade him after the trade deadline. You're being obtuse for what, Griff, best friend? Like, that doesn't, you don't have to do that. It's okay. Like, you don't have to do that. I know people are entitled to their own opinion, but like, you don't have to lie. It's okay. You don't have to lie. Come on, man. You really think nobody? You think you're the smartest guy in the room about the trade? Like, I just blew my mind that you can't make a move after the deadline. You can't trade nobody after the deadline. You definitely could have packaged him and Bruce Brown at the trade deadline when you got Bruce Brown. Oh, no. So Griff Bestfriend had to speak about Mr. Bruce. Bruce Brown said from his words that he wants to stay because he's tired of moving teams. If we're going to get anyone from BI, that was a salary dump. That's it. They're about to have a lottery pick in one of the best drafts in recent memory. So now we're taking athletes' words at face value. The same people that will sit there in front of a group of people be like, I want to stay here the rest of my career, like Kyrie Irving, your LeBrons, all these people. Oh, I love this city. I'll never leave, blah, blah, blah. Then when the money funny, they packing, ready to go. They asking out. How many times James Harden said he wasn't going to leave Houston? How many times Kevin Durant said, like, you can't take in athletes. They tell you what you want to hear. So that's what you guys need to understand is. Do not come on this channel if you want to be filled with, you want me to blow smoke up your you know what. I'm not going to do that. I've stated that multiple times. This is not the channel for you then. If you think I'm going to sit here and be like, all is well, we got 13 wins, but that is okay. Griff is doing the best he can in 6 years. So what, the Pelicans haven't made a playoff run? Who cares? Griff is doing the best he's doing. He's doing the best. His players get hurt. That's not his fault. Okay, guys? You guys got to give Griff all the time. He needs 10 years to make a rebuild. Forget 3, forget this. He needs 10 years. Right now, it is not fair what this fan base is doing to David Griffin. It's not fair, okay? He's done everything right. No mistakes. This is not his fault. It's the player's fault. It's not Griff's fault. It's the player's fault. So what? Griff has not put a adequate big man next to Zion. So what? He's put Derek Favors and Steven Adams and shout out JV, Jonas Valanciunas and Daniel Tice next to Zion in year 6. Griff is, man, he brought in Eric Bledsoe and traded 4 second-round picks for Josh Richardson. And he also traded picks to get rid of Daniel Tice. Respect Griff. You have to respect Griff. No mistakes. It's all fine and dandy. So like I said, this is not the channel for you. I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. If the Pelicans are doing well, I'm going to sit here and be like, the Pelicans are the best team in the Western Conference. If the Pelicans are 13 in a million, am I just going to be like, hey guys, Cooper Flag watch every video. Cooper Flag watch. Like they have 13 wins, man. I don't know. I don't know. So continuing, they're about to have a lottery pick in one of the best drafts in recent memory. I mean, we hope so. Everybody says that leading to the draft, but it's either the draft is one of the best or it's one of the worst. You really don't know till 2 years down the line, or really like a year down the line. You're like, damn, they had 3-4 guys. You know, like the Wemby draft. Like they got a lot of guys that are doing extremely well right now. So you saying that beforehand, like, and what if the Pelicans get the 6th pick or the 7th pick? Then what? It's like, oh, okay, Green will be fired. Whoa. So at least we can agree on that, Griff Bestfriend. Can confirm right now, you heard it here first, by David Griffin's right-hand man, Willie Green will be fired. So that's a step in the right direction, even though this would be Griffin's 4th coach. But it's a step in the right direction. 6 years is 4th coach. Well, 7 years will be year 7. You get the math. So none of this tells me that Griff is the problem. The real problem and common denominator is injuries. Injuries. That is a fact. They are trying to dump money, bro. The money dump was the Daniel Tice move. So you're telling me, listen to what you're saying right now. You're okay with, if Bruce Brown doesn't sign back, you're okay with that being, they're trying to dump money or whatever for Bruce Brown, right? So you're telling me from the Anthony Davis trade, we're going to break down all this because it keeps going, but from the Anthony Davis trade up until now, you don't have nobody, and the final piece that you had, your franchise guy, you ended up moving that for Bruce Brown, who, from your words, hold on, let me just make sure I'm quoting you correctly. We were never going to get anyone from BI that was a salary dump. So Bruce Brown, a salary dump in Bruce Brown, and Kelly Olynyk and a Pacers first-round pick in 2026. That is the haul for Brandon Ingram. Okay. And that's nothing on Griff's part. That for Brandon Ingram, he gets a salary dump in Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, and a Pacers top 4 protected first-round pick in 2026. Okay. Like I said, everybody has their own, it's okay. I stopped watching this because I could tell you stop watching because you obviously don't know that I've said multiple times throughout the video, this has nothing to do with Javonte Green. I will play the clip again, but 3 times. Now you're like, dude, it's Javonte Green. What are you tripping about? Like, this is, who cares? Like, yes. In the grand scheme, yes. Yes. It is a marginal move. This video is not about, oh man, we lost Javonte. Fire everybody. No, this video is not about Javonte necessarily, but what this symbolizes. I stopped watching because this is always negative. They have 13 wins. There is never any optimism for a 13 in a million basketball team. I'm very optimistic that they should fire David Griffin and fire Willie Green and start. I swear I'm very optimistic about. Haven't been optimistic about Trey. Haven't been optimistic about what Trey and Zion possibly could be, which maybe gotten Carlo, Antonio Reeves, Emisi. But when I start getting on the big wigs that's making the moves, that's where the problem lies. Like I said, Griff's best friend. It's not Griff's fault. It's the players. There's never any optimism, and the points are not well thought out. You're entitled. I mean, I could. It's criticism. I take. Thank you for the feedback. So I'll get better. I mean, I'm only been doing this for like 5 months, but it's cool. Griff has drafted extremely well. That's one positive. Now you made it to my favorite part of the video: the lies. Not true at all. Not true at all. So let's start. We're gonna do off season too. Since you're saying Griff is not the problem, I'm gonna just go through the draft. Even though I've done this multiple times. So the 2019 draft, you get Zion Williamson, number 1. Undisputed number 1 pick. I'm not giving Griff any flowers for that. You had the 4th pick. You traded that down, got an extra pick, which ended up being Nickeil Alexander-Walker, if I'm not mistaken. You traded down to get Jackson Hayes at the 8th spot, who ended up walking for nothing. So a guy you drafted in the top 10, your big man next to Zion Wilson, your front court, you ended up letting him walk a couple years later, free of charge. Now he's on the Lakers. Starting on the Lakers. Granted, he's starting because they ain't got nobody else, but he's starting on the Lakers. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who is a rotational piece for the Timberwolves off the bench, like he's not really, nothing against Nickeil. He found a way to carve out a role, but, he got traded to Utah first, didn't really do nothing in Utah, and he finally got on with the Timberwolves. So shout out to him for, like, sticking in the league and, getting things done. But come on now. All right, that next draft, the 2020 draft, first-round pick, you draft Kyra Lewis, who's not in the NBA no more. It's not in the NBA no more. Granted, you also traded for Eric Bledsoe and Steven Adams. Great moves, Griff. I know we were going to talk about the offseason moves yet, but that was just looking at the 2020. That's your thing. And, you also picked up Najee Marshall undrafted. That's what I'll give Griff his flowers. That's what Griff has done well. He's not drafted well. He's found great gems, undrafted guys like your Najee Marshalls, your Jose's, like Brandon Boston, grabbing him from off the street, Brandon Boston Jr. He's done well with that. We're not finna sit here and act like he's drafting like the Houston Rockets or the Oklahoma City Thunder. I ain't gonna go through their draft because I don't want this video to be extremely long. Or Derek Favors, just some BS like that. Didi Louzada, I forgot about Didi Louzada in the other draft. You got Didi Louzada from Brazil, who's not in the NBA more, just like Kyra Lewis. 2021, you end up trading Lonzo Ball for Thomas Satoransky and Garrett Temple. Almost blew a gasket yesterday looking at that. 10th pick, Zaire Williams, trade out for Trey Murphy. That's a W, Griff. Good job. You got Trey, got Herb in this draft, 2nd round. Good. You also picked up Jose, undrafted. I mean, people feel about Jose. He's good. He's a good undrafted backup point guard who's good in spurts. Like if Jose was like 6'1", 6'2", he would be amazing. And that's no gripe against Jose. If he just was like 6'1" or 6'2", my goodness, he would be so good. 2022 draft, you draft Dyson Daniels with the 8th overall pick. So now with the Atlanta Hawks, granted, Dyson, He's a good NBA player. He's like he's like Herb Jones. He's Australian Herb Jones. But you drafted him to be your starting point guard of the future, and that's just not what he is. He's an off-ball defender. That's what he's doing with the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young has the ball in his hands. Dyson's playing off-ball. So you drafted him to be your guard of the future, which he ended up not being, so you had to move him and attach some picks. Granted, I love DeJounte, but you had to attach some picks. I just hate losing draft picks, and then you got the other teams like, oh, thanks, man. We needed that. EJ Liddell. I don't know if he's in the NBA no more. I mean, EJ Liddell. I don't really have much to say about EJ Liddell. You know, he tore his ACL. I think that was the summer league, whatever. So you never really got to see him, but that was a dud of a pick. 2023, Jordan Hawkins. Was really hype about getting Hawkins. I really want Hawkins to be a flamethrower, Rip Hamilton, Ray Allen. That was where we envisioned him. He's not there. You know, he's been battling with injuries. So there you go. The guys Griffin bringing in are just so injury riddled. So injury riddled, but he's been battling injuries. He still has a lot of time to turn it around, but Jordan Hawkins is not really a world beater at the 14th pick. Oh, and that Dyson pick, Jalen Williams for OKC went like a couple picks after that. Kyle Lewis, you had my boy Halliburton. However y'all feel about Halliburton or Tyrese Maxey for that Kyle Lewis. That kind of really was when it got dark, when they drafted Kyle Lewis and they missed out on a real lead guard because you're still years removed. Kyle's 2020, so you're still 5 years removed, still trying to chase a point guard. God willingly, Hawkins can turn it around. But if not, Antonio Reeves should be really good. Second round pick. Antonio Reeves and Yves Missi. This is the 2024. Yves Missi and Antonio Reeves. I think Carlo was what draft was Carlo? Carlo was in 2022. He just came back in 2024. So Carlo was in that 2022 draft with Dyson. So you got Carlo with Dyson. So we'll see what Carlo can be. We'll see what Antonio Reeves can be. We'll see if Jordan Hawkins can turn it around. But to say he's drafted well is asinine. Zion, well, I'm not even including Zion. You number one pick, undisputed. That didn't take no research, and Zion has not fulfilled his potential either. So he's been great when he wants to be, and that's the problem with Zion. But that's a whole story for another day. So we're looking at Herb, Trae, Missi, out of Kyra, Jackson Hayes, Nikhil Alexander Walker. Who else was up there? Didi Lazada. It's the reason why I was even saying that, because I was looking at, other teams' draft history, just seeing like the teams that, I've rebuilded and, retooled and all that. I'm just looking like the Rockets, like 2021, they got Jalen Green. 2022, they got Tari Easton. 2022, Tari Easton and Jabari Smith Jr. We'll see what he can. Jabari Smith has been underwhelming, but Tari Easton's been pleasant surprise. 2023, Cam Whitmore. 2023, Amin Thompson. Reed Shepard in 2024 is like, and they drafted Isaiah Hardenstein in 2017, Dylan Brooks, DeAnthony Melton. These are real rotational guys in the NBA, not fringe guys that not even in the league anymore. And I don't even want to look at OKC's because they got a million picks. But names, like real names. I'm not even, because the video is already long enough. You want to, y'all go look at OKC draft history. That's drafting well. You're making moves and pairing it like that. You have nothing to show from the Anthony Davis trade. You have nothing left. The war chest has been drained. But hey, shout out Griff's best friend. I do appreciate my points aren't well thought out. I will add that to the bag and get better at that. So appreciate that. I don't appreciate the lies earlier, but I do appreciate the real criticism at the end. Like I can take that. I'm not finna take, oh, Griffith's drafted well and you're upset about Javon. Dude, don't do that. If you don't like the guy, you can say don't do that. So thank you guys for staying for another edition of the Pelicans Scoop, man. Just had to clear some things up because Griff's best friend had to say whatever. I'm not going for that, man. You're not gonna just lie under my videos and make it seem like that's not what I said. Just watch the video. So I appreciate you guys. I'm out. Peace.